Indeed, it is a story that we're keeping an eye on. Now to education matters. Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Migos has refuted claims that the government is not well prepared to handle learners under the new system of education. Speaking in Kajiado North Sub-County on Monday while inspecting the construction of new classrooms, Migos assured parents of a 100% transition from primary to junior secondary school JSS. He further confirmed that the Ministry of Education has constructed 13,500 classrooms out of the 16,000 classrooms targeted to facilitate a smooth transition. Timothy Kipnusu with that report.
Schools reopened Monday for the first term of the 2025 academic year. A spot check at a section of schools revealed that in some schools, there are few classrooms.
Open.
However, Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Migos, while on an inspection tour of Kajiado County, defended the government's handling of the transition of students from primary to junior secondary school.
The transition is smooth, and where there are challenges, all of our field officers are actually out today to ensure that where there is a challenge, it is escalated and a solution is found, including where we are merging classes of the lower grades so that the grade 9 are not affected.
The issue of desk is a problem because they were not factored in. Na nafikiri ni muhimu tukifanya supplementary budget, we budget for lockers ili kila mtoto apate locker yake, kwa sababu kuambia mzazi arudi kwa mfuko huenda itakuwa ni shida na uwezo wao.
The CS father said at least 76,000 GSS teachers have been deployed across the country to ensure smooth learning, with the ministry roping in the primary school teachers to fill the gap in junior secondary classes in case there is any.
The teachers have also been availed. We did we've done almost 76,000 teachers for JSS, and in areas where they are not enough, there is an amalgamation of the primary teachers who are being, moved up to teach the JSS classes depending on their competencies.
The CS at the same time warned head teachers against sending learners home for lack of school fees. In the meantime, Basic Education Principal Secretary Dr. Belio Kipsang, who toured various schools within Nairobi Metropolitan, said a multi-agency team will soon be formed to assess infrastructure requirements in all schools to ensure there is no congestion.
At the end of this exercise of settling down our grade 9, we shall again have another multi-agency team who will be doing an assessment of infrastructure requirements in our schools, so that we don't only finish grade 9 and then again in a short while we are having other challenges in congestion in the lower classes.
A section of teachers and parents have, however, called on the government to move with speed to ensure learning is not paralyzed as a result of lack of basic infrastructure requirement in schools.
Especially kama wazazi, watoto wakikuja shule wanapata facilities, they are already there. But this is a good step and we really appreciate it. The government is also doing something good, because of funding all this.
Kujenga madarasa pasipo na madawati, na pia walimu wapate kuajiriwa kwa wingi ili wanafunzi wapate kunufaika.
We are also excited for new classrooms. Well, the block is not complete, but through the government and especially through the national government CDF Westlands, we received a block, a 10 classroom block that is coming up and will be nearing completion towards the end of the month.
Even as the country witnesses the pioneer cohort of the competence-based curriculum transit grade 9, the Ministry of Education is confident that the transition will be seamless without much bottlenecks.
Still on the education front, parents of learners at Yago Primary School in Homa Bay County staged a protest demanding the immediate transfer of the head teacher, Elisha Gunga. They accused the administrator of alleged corruption and mismanagement that they claim has disrupted transition to junior secondary school. Also, parents and directors at Gatoto Integrated Development Program School are protesting the alleged changeover of the institution from private to public ownership.
Yago Primary School in Thiwa, Homa Bay County. Parents protesting inadequate infrastructure and poor learning conditions at the school. The deputy chairperson of the School Board of Management, Richard Awino, voiced concerns about a lack of transparency regarding the school's finances.
But I only wanted the head teacher to come so that he explains to the community where that money is, if it is true that he knows its whereabouts.
We have waited for quite too long to see some improvement in the performance of this school, but we have not seen anything.
Once celebrated for its academic excellence, Yago Primary School has reportedly seen a significant decline in student performance. Efforts to reach head teacher Elisha Gunga for comment have been unsuccessful. In a separate incident, parents and directors of the Gatoto Integrated Development Program School in Nairobi County were left in disbelief as local administration officials stormed the institution, allegedly attempting to take over its management from a private organization.
Gatoto ina run through 3 programs. Tunafanya community program, tunafanya primary school na tunafanya post-primary education. And that is what the NGO is doing. Yeah? And we have existed here for the last 30 years, coexisted well with the Minister of Education, coexisted well with the local administration. Now, mtu kutoka nje ameleta hii vita.
I think kama shule ingeenda kwa serikali, sisi wenyewe ndio tungeenda kuongea. We are in crisis, we want ABCD.
Parents are now calling for justice and accountability in the administration of the school.
And now beyond our borders, where President William Ruto will attend the inauguration ceremony of Ghana's President-elect John Dramani Mahama in Accra. The trip follows a special invitation extended by President-elect Mahama during his recent visit to Kenya on Sunday, December 29, 2024.
We're all farmers.
President William Ruto recently hosted Ghana's President-elect John Dramani Mahama at his residence in Kilgoris, Narok County. During their meeting, the two leaders discussed shared prosperity and explored ways to expand opportunities for citizens of both nations. It was at this meeting that Mahama invited President Ruto to attend his inauguration. While in Accra, Ghana, President Ruto is set to engage in bilateral talks focusing on enhancing cooperation in key sectors such as trade, energy, oil, textiles, agriculture and diplomacy. Additionally, President Ruto will advocate for reforms within the African Union with an emphasis on improving institutional efficiency and strategic direction. Ghana held its presidential and parliamentary elections on Saturday, December 7th, 2024, where Mahama emerged victorious over the then Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia.
Now let's come back here to the country, where the county government of Mombasa has deployed 2,500 community health promoters across the county to spearhead the rollout of the Social Health Authority SHA at the grassroots level. Speaking during the launch of the mass registration exercise, Mombasa Governor Abdul Samad Sharif Nasir noted that only 264,000 persons have registered under the new medical insurance. He emphasized the need to onboard more residents to ensure access to affordable and comprehensive healthcare services.
The rollout of the new Social Health Authority has continued to gain traction, with the county government of Mombasa deploying 2,500 community health promoters across the county to assist with the registration of the individuals under the new medical insurance scheme.
Wale watu ambao wamekuwa registered kwa members wa SHA ni watu 264,000. Leo na kesho mutafanyiwa training. Mwelezewe jinsi ya kuweza kuregister wale watu kwa zaidi.
County ya Mombasa ndio itakuwa county ya kwanza kutuma CHPs wakasaidie wananchi wetu kujisajili, wakawasaidie kuongeza watoto wao, kuongea familia zao, kuwaongeza hapo, na pia wasaidie ile tunaita means testing.
Speaking during the launch of the Social Health Authority mass registration exercise, Mombasa Governor Abdul Samad Nasir also declared that his administration will not renew the licenses for private pharmacies operating near public hospitals. He claimed that patients were being directed to purchase medicines from private outlets despite the availability of adequate supplies in public health facilities.
I've given instructions. We're not renewing leseni za watu wenye kuuza madawa nje ya hospitali. Juzi nilikuwa niko Coast General. There are almost 10 pharmacies outside there. That means those people thrive on a public facility not being able to perform. Mimi nilienda Likoni Hospital with the CC, na tukifika pale unaambiwa ya kwa mgonjwa ameambiwa ya kwa ati dawa hakuna, na tukifungua kabati tunaona dawa ziko pale.
President Ruto's economic advisor Moses Kuria reassured community health promoters that any outstanding arrears owed to them will be cleared by the end of the week.
Nataka kuhakikishia kwamba hata wale 40 na kitu ambao wamebaki kwa malipo ya Disemba, ikifika mwisho wa wiki hii itakuwa pia imelipwa na nitafuatilia hayo. Na nirudie vile niliambia viongozi wenu, kabla ya mshahara yangu kulipwa, kabla ya governor kulipwa, kabla ya Rais William Ruto kulipwa, mshahara ya CHPs itakuwa inalipwa kwanza. Lazima maslahi yenu tuangalie.
He further disclosed plans to digitize healthcare services nationwide, with Mombasa said to be the first county to adopt the new digital systems.
Kuanzia kesho, wahudumu, madaktari, clinical officers, nurses wetu 1,300 kila mtu analetewa kidude ya kompyuta na wote watakuwa wanawatibu kupitia kwa kompyuta, na hiyo ni kaunti ya kwanza.
And now to the courts, where a recruitment agent has been arraigned in court for allegedly defrauding a man of 400,000 Kenya shillings by falsely promising to secure jobs overseas for her relatives. The accused pleaded for leniency, saying she is expectant. The case has attracted public attention, highlighting the plight of job seekers falling prey to job placement scams. Our court reporter, Letua Debra, has the details of this story in the Scales of Justice segment.
The accused, Faith Cherotich Ngeno, was charged before Nairobi Senior Principal Magistrate Gilbert Shikwe with intent to defraud. It is alleged that on 23rd March 2023 in Nairobi, she fraudulently obtained Kenya shillings 400,000 from Elijah Kimenja Rop under the pretense of securing job opportunities in Qatar and Australia for his nephew and niece, Wilton Cheriot and Azanat Cheptoo. Cherotich, knowing the claims to be false, denied the charges and pleaded with the court for lenient bail terms, citing her pregnancy. The court released her on cash bail of Kenya shillings 50,000 or an alternative bond of Kenya shillings 100,000. The pre-trial hearing is set for 3rd February 2025.
Bond of 100,000, surety similar amount, or a cash bill of 50,000 with one contact person.
Meanwhile, Benjamin Mulo Muyo was charged with obtaining over Kenya shillings 6.6 million under pretense by claiming he could send 1 acre plot of land in Syokimau. The alleged offense occurred between July 2022 and April 2023, targeting 3 victims, Siratho Mohamed Abdi, Abdullahi Ahmed Rubal, and Abdullahi Mohamed Hassan. Appearing before Principal Magistrate Gilbert Shikwe, the accused denied the charges. The court released him on a bond of Kenya shillings 500,000 or cash bail of Kenya shillings 200,000 with one contact person. The pre-trial is set for 3rd February 2025.
On the 3rd of February, for pre-trial directions, a bond of 500,000, surety similar amount, or cash bill of 200,000 shillings with one contact person.
Also, in a separate matter, Duncan Chengo, a Nairobi-based physiotherapist, appeared before Senior Principal Magistrate Gilbert Shikwe, charged with threatening to kill. The accused denied the charges, and the court granted him a cash bail of Kenya shillings 50,000 or an alternative bond of Kenya shillings 100,000 with one contact person. The case is scheduled for mention on 3rd February 2025, with 4 witnesses lined up to testify. Finally, former Muhoroni MCA Karen Achino Moga was arrested in Kapsabet, Nandi County, after her son was linked to the brutal murder of Enoch Kipsang, believed to involve organ harvesting. Karen was caught fleeing and arraigned in court, where she was detained for 4 days as investigations continue. The case will be heard on January 10, 2025.
Hereby allow the presented motion and grant the High Ho applicant 4 more days to hold the respondent at Kapsabet Police Station for purposes of facilitation and completion of investigations into the subject matter. Additionally, the respondent is hereby accordingly ordered to be escorted to Kapsabet County Referral Hospital for her mental assessment. Mentioned on 10th January for further orders and for closure of this motion.
Therefore, a manhunt is underway for other suspects after another victim, Victor Kimtai, was killed by mob after confessing and revealing the location of the victim's body parts.
And now let's take a quick look at what is happening in the devolved units, where 3 people died while several others were injured in a road accident involving 2 matatus along the Murang'a-Kenol Highway on Monday morning. Elsewhere, police in Laikipia County are investigating the brutal murder of an elderly woman in Gatundia Town, Laikipia County. Details of this and other stories is in our county's news roundup.
According to survivors and eyewitnesses, a Murang'a shuttle matatu heading to Nairobi collided head-on with a Nakon Sacco matatu heading to Murang'a. Those injured were rushed to Murang'a Level 4 Hospital, and the 3 bodies were taken to the mortuary in the same facility.
Sasa tukifika Murang'a, driver alikuwa amewa speed ya Nakons, akashindwa kudhibiti hiyo gari, ikagonga hii ingine. Sasa hapo ndio tukafurika ikaingia kwa mto.
Elsewhere, police in Laikipia County are investigating the brutal murder of an elderly woman at her home in Gatundia Town by unknown assailants. The deceased Lucy Wanjiru Ndungu's mutilated body was discovered by her husband Wilson Ndungu.
Tuna uhakika kwamba watatufikia, Mungu atawasaidia wafikie hawa wahalifu, na Mungu ndiye tunaomba na ndiye tunategemea.
And Uasin Gishu County Government has received a medical supplies consignment from the Kenya Medical Services Authority that will help address shortage of drugs and enhance services in the healthcare facilities in the county.
I want to assure you that whatever we are doing for the people of Uasin Gishu and for the glory of God. Do you have an idea that we are coming up with a diagnostic center here and you have put 200 million to start off? Just here, about 200 million.
Finally, Laikipia County Governor Joshua Irungu has pledged to improve healthcare services in the county. Governor Irungu was speaking after visiting the Nyahururu County and Referral Hospital's maternity wing, where he also donated New Year gifts to mothers who delivered at the facility.
Kina mama wanaongezeka, hata ingawa tulitoka kwa 30 capacity na sasa tumekuja 60 hapa, but lakini bado tunaona it is 100 plus occupancy. Ni kwa sababu services, huduma ni mzuri, na kwa hivyo tunaambia tu akina mama bado waendelee na kukuja, nasi kama serikali tunaendelea na kufanya kuongezea services kule kwingine.
Elsewhere, the Kenya Leather Industrial Park in Kenani, Machakos County, which is nearing completion, is set to be officially commissioned in March this year. Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki, while inspecting the ongoing works at the plant, said electricity and water connections, as well as a deployment of permanent policing services, are being expedited to meet the deadline.
Kenya targets to leverage the leather industry to create over 100,000 jobs. Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki says the government is establishing the Kenya Leather Industrial Park in Kenani, Machakos County as one of the interventions for value addition in manufacturing to push up the annual contribution of the leather industry from the current 15 billion shillings to 175 billion shillings.
If we are able to adjust the production and marketing of the hides and skins of our cattle, we can inject fresh resources into our economy.
The Kenya Leather Industrial Park is scheduled for completion in March this year. Professor Kindiki says final touches are being done to ensure the project is completed within the set deadlines.
His Excellency the President directed that this facility be ready by 31st of March this year. We are trying our best, the various state departments and ministries, because there is a Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development, but also the Ministry of Investment, Promotion, Trade and Industry, and we are working hard to make sure that we deliver.
So far, he says a common user facility of effluent treatment plants to treat water for manufacturing leather is already complete. The effluent treatment plant will clean effluent from the EPZ factories on Mombasa Road and Athi River and from the leather factories based at the Kenya Leather Industrial Park. The leather industry accounts for 1.5% of Kenya's gross domestic product.
The Capital Markets Authority has granted listed companies a one-year extension to comply with Capital Markets Public Offers Listings and Disclosures Regulations of 2023 in relation to the appointment of independent directors and non-executive directors. The Capital Markets Authority says the decision is in recognition that adjusting board composition to align with the updated requirements is a time-sensitive process requiring careful planning to maintain continuity and avoid disruptions to strategic initiatives.
The Capital Markets Public Offers Listings and Disclosures Regulations of 2023, which came into effect on 15th December 2023, revised definitions for independent directors and non-executive directors, impacting the compliance status for listed companies, new listings and initial public offers and persons offering or marketing securities to the public in Kenya. However, compliance has been slow, with the listed companies individually applying to the Capital Markets Authority for compliance extensions. In its latest report on the state of corporate governance practices of issuers of securities to the public in Kenya 2024, the Capital Markets Authority says it has offered listed companies a one-year extension to comply with the updated requirements. The Capital Markets Authority says the revisions were informed by the need to mitigate risks associated with director entrenchment and foster a culture of accountability with boardrooms. Here, directors are continuously motivated to challenge the status quo and uphold the high standards of corporate governance.
A quick look at what is happening in the world of sports, where Harambe Stars will be hunting for their first win in the Mapinduzi Cup when they take on Kilimanjaro Stars in their second game tomorrow in Zanzibar. Stars played to a 1-1 draw with Burkina Faso in their first game on Saturday.
Stars have been boosted by the arrival of Gor Mahia's Austin Odhiambo, Sylvester Owino, Alfonso Mija and Ronnie Onyango ahead of their second game against Kilimanjaro Stars. According to head coach Francis Kimanzi, the team is optimistic to make a podium finish as they eye to share in the forthcoming CHAN tournament, which will be co-hosted by Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania in February.
We are very positive about them. We are encouraging them more. We know that they need to improve a lot, on controlling their emotional excitement, within the game when they are leading. Because I believe also the next match they are capable of scoring. So it's only about how do we manage the game when we score.
Stars are using the Mapinduzi Cup tournament as a curtain raiser for the coming continental assignment.
The most important thing is for us to know that competition kama hizi, if we continue working hard and being smart also, we can move forward as a team.
The Kenya national under-19 cricket team, the Kenya Powerhitters, were crowned champions of the under-19 T20 Cricket Championship after beating Indian Blasters by 63 runs in the final played last evening in Noida, India. In a thrilling final, the Kenya Powerhitters posted a solid score of 195 runs for 5 in their allocated 20 overs. Kenya then restricted Indian Blasters to 132 runs, all out in 17.3 overs, taking the title by an impressive 63 runs. A total of 6 teams took part in the tournament, which began on Monday last week. The other teams in the tournament were Sri Lanka Lions, Nepal Everest Eagles, Indian Stars and the Barbados Select.